Hi everyone, I am back with another weekly Instagram live. This one's a little bit different. We're doing this on a Saturday evening, and my guest for today's live is Wally Green, one of my friends that I actually met the first time that I came to the US, and he has a he's got a lot of very entertaining stories, and he played in a lot of ITTF Pro Tour events throughout his playing time. He lives in New York, so I see him from time to time. Did some commentary with him last year, which was really fun. But this man has stories galore, and some of them are just fantastic. So I'm looking forward to asking him a few questions about his time playing table tennis, and particularly, here he is, some questions about his little excursion to the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Hey man, how are you doing?
Matt, what's going on, man?
Nothing. This is the highlight of my day, as it should be.
Same,
As
man.
it should be.
Same. Actually today I was at the park, Thompson Square Park, and I was there's a stone ping pong table there, and we were
Yeah,
playing me and Sam, and I met a guy who
you
knows me.
met
He's from New
somebody.
Zealand.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
met a guy who knows me. He's like, yeah,
yeah.
man,
He
Matt.
told me. He
Yeah, oh,
told
he
me.
did.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. He
He's
told me
like,
it was so funny because yeah, he said I met Wally and Sam. I was like, no kidding. I was like, I'm doing a live with him. So he's probably gonna join at some point, I guess.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Um, well, this is going to be fun because I know that you have some insane stories from the many years that you spent globe-trotting and hanging out around the world.
Oh
But
yeah.
I thought we'd just start you in a lot of interviews and a lot of conversations credit table tennis for basically saving your life.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start off with how that all started, what your life was like before table tennis, and how the opportunity arose that you got involved with table tennis. Like, why was it table tennis?
Um, I mean, it's really crazy that it was table tennis because actually, growing up as a kid, I hated table tennis. I, I really listen. Growing up as a kid, like they had this sport in my high school. I used to make fun of kids playing this sport. Like you can't believe it. So I hope none of those kids are watching this right now. I hope they're
They
not
might,
watching.
they might be, they might be.
but
If they are, I want them to comment. I hope they call you out for it.
but I was shooting pool at one time, and I discovered it at a pool hall. And the only reason that I got interested was because I broke my pool stick. So I had stolen this pool stick. So when I was younger, when I was younger, I used to be in a gang. I was a gangster at a very young age. I had already started owning guns. And,
Mm,
I was a crazy kid. I was stealing, robbing, doing all kinds of dumb shit. I'd stolen this pool stick, expensive one. I thought I was good. I was shooting pool a little bit. Got hustled for some money. Got angry.
mm.
I broke the pool stick, right?
Oh,
And I
so it
saw
was your
some.
fault.
Yeah. I broke the pool stick, and I saw some guys playing table tennis, and I was like, it was more of me trying to bully them, and I was like, hey,
Right.
I want to get a hit, and they're like, all right. So I hit the ball, and out of anger, smashed the ball, and it went on the table, and the guy was like, do you play? And I was like, no. And it was like, well, there's a ping pong club, and I was like, what do you mean there's a club? Like, there's an actual club for this, right? So I was like, these guys are joking. So I couldn't believe that there was really a place where
Where
everyone
people
went
play
and
ping
actually
pong.
played this sport. I was like, nah, this is crazy. So I went down to this place that they sent me to go check, and I checked, and it was actually a pool hall, right? That was
With
half pool
tables in.
hall, half table tennis club, right? And I went there, nobody would play with me. The fast version of this story is that eventually I met this Jewish guy who came up to me and said, hey, do you have a partner? And I was like, no, I don't. He says, listen, I'll pay you $20 every time you play with me. And I couldn't, at that time, I didn't really know how to play, but I was an athlete, so I could play a little bit. I could hit the ball on the table,
Mm,
like a hobby player. I could hit the ball on the table. And the guy was like, "I'll pay you $20." I was like, "All right, it's a hustle, $20, man."
So
Oh man,
you're a professional from the beginning.
yeah, exactly. I was like, "Wow, $20, this is gonna be great." So I play with this guy, 3 times, 2 times a week, and I got $20 every time, right? And then me and the guy, we became a little bit closer, and we started talking about things about my life. And I was always open about my life, about my family. And I was like, uh, for me, my gang is most important. Hanging out with my gang members, doing what we do. That's what's important for me. And for him, it was more like TV, right? Because he's never met anyone in that, so he never really took it seriously. And we continued to play, and I continued to get my $20. One day I went to the club and the gun fell out of my bag, and he saw it. And the first thing I thought was like, damn, there goes my $20. That hustle is done. That's it. The hustle is gonna be done, right? But it didn't happen that way. He actually called me. I think it was like the next day, asking if we were gonna play 2 days ahead, and I was like, yeah, all right. And then he comes out and says, listen, I really want to help you out, and I want to pay for you to go to Germany to learn ping pong. Right? And that's how I started. And I was like, wait, and at first, being a kid coming from the hood, very low income family, and you got this guy who's telling you,
right.
I'm gonna pay for you to go to Germany to learn ping pong. I'm like, all right, what does this dude want? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't go that way. You know what I'm saying? Like all these kind of things were running through my head. But, I ran with the opportunity, and he did make it happen. He paid. I went to Hanover. I lived in a sports school with a bunch of kids that were amazing at their sport. And that's how I started the sport of table tennis.
How long, the first time, how long did you go to Germany the first time? Because you went back there quite a few times, right?
Yeah. So the first time I went to Germany was in Hanover, and I went there about first it was 4 months, right? And I went another 2 months to a different part of Germany to practice, because the year before that, that very year before that, I had met like all these famous players. I went to a U.S. Open. I didn't know how to play at all. Like, I could hit, but I didn't know. And I went to a U.S. Open table. I was like, wow, there's a U.S. Open for ping pong? No way. So I went there, and at that time, Waldner was there, Timo Boll was there, Primo Rat, all these great, amazing players, right?
Yeah.
That I did some homework on, and they were going to be there. So, I'm a crazy dude, man. So
I am aware of that.
First player, I remember being at the US Open, and I saw Waldner, and I went up to him and was like, hey, you're that Waldner guy, right? And he looked at me like I'm out of my mind, right? And I started talking to every player that I saw in the picture. I would go up to them and I would talk to them. Timo Boll, Thomas Kynett, all these players. I would just talk to them, right? And then I made friends right there, right? Because no one was really crazy enough to go and like attack these players.
Yes. Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, it was the same for me as well. I think honestly, when I see you and I see you at tournaments, you're the guy who you will talk to anyone. And, I see you out in in New York playing on the public tables. And even though you said before, the guy from New Zealand met you as well. So, yeah, I was kind of surprised, but not that surprised. I was like, man, like Wally's the kind of guy who will talk to anyone. Like you really like go out there and connect with people.
Yeah, and so I met these great players, and they always told me, if you ever come to Germany,
yeah, and they never think you will.
Right, exactly. You see, yeah. So. You're right. They probably were just saying that.
Yeah.
Just to say They never thought that this kid would go. So I was in Germany. The first person I contacted was Thomas Kynett. And I was like, hey, Thomas, I'm in Germany.
I'm in Germany. That's great.
Yeah, I'm in Hanover. And he was like, well, can you get to Frankfurt? And I was like, yeah, I can get to Frankfurt. And I lined up after that. So it's crazy, because I went from learning table tennis, like literally learning at a sports school, to playing and practicing with the best Bundesliga team
Right.
in
Yeah,
the
because
world.
you were in Granzow, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And Granzow was like the top of
The top. It
the
was
league.
the top of the
Yeah.
league.
Yeah,
And
I mean they had Chinese players there at the same time,
yeah,
right?
they had,
Yeah.
it was crazy. They had Chen Bin, who
Yeah.
Chen Bin was already became a national of German. So that's why they could have Chen Bin. And then they had Ma Wenga. So they had
Yeah.
two Chinese German teams. And I remember the first time going there, Thomas brings me there, and at this point now, I've already familiarized myself with all the top players and the legends.
Mm.
And I go into the hall, and this guy comes up to me and he goes, "Hi, are you Wally?" And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, "You want to play here?" And gave me this crazy thing. And it was Andre Gruber
Oh,
said that.
right.
Yeah, Andre
Nice.
Gruber, because he was the coach. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I wind up practicing there, became good friends with his son, Thomas Gruber. And I mean, that was like the start of me playing table tennis.
Yeah, that's like 0 to 100.
Really, 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 really.
Okay, I've got an exclusion in my next question. So you played the Pro Tour for more than a decade, right?
About maybe 3 years, 4,
It was
5.
only 3? I think you played for more than that.
Maybe more, yeah. Maybe like,
I'm
yeah,
pretty,
it was. Actually, yeah, it was.
there was more space between though, right?
There's more space in between. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's right.
Yeah. So is there a particular match or moment that stands out for you, not including North Korea? Because I'm going to get to that in a minute.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
plenty of room for that.
definitely. So at this time now, at this point, I'm already good friends with Thomas. So Thomas knows me.
He's
Timo Boll,
your kind of crazy, Thomas.
he's my
It's
guy.
like, yeah.
Timo Boll knows me, right? Because they practice together, right? So I remember my first pro tour was in Germany. It was German Open, right? I think that was like 2002, I think. But my first pro tour, and so I went from like not playing to quickly learning to playing with a pro team to pro, like immediately. And the reason why I could do that is because everybody wonders how I did that. It's because I had the money to do it. I made a video game with Rockstar Games, and then I told Rockstar Games I want them to sponsor me for every tournament in the world. I want to play every tournament. I just want to play every tournament. And they said, okay. So I had the money for it to play.
All right.
They covered everything. So anyway, I played German Open. German was my first tournament. I played German Open, and I get completely annihilated. Like, it was 11-0. Well, no. Actually, I never lost 11-0. So it was like 11-1.
That's a W.
11-2, 11-1. Like, completely annihilated. Even by people, I've played a person that I practiced with in Grenzow that I played well against.
Yeah, nice.
I was so nervous. My hands were shaking, right? The next week was Dutch Open, right? Dutch Open. So we go to this tournament. Me and Thomas, we drive from Germany to Holland. He introduced me to more players, and I played this tournament. And I remember the first match was against England, right? And I get smoked badly. It was not a good time for me. The second match was against Russia, and I get smoked again, hard, like no chance, really badly. And then I was like, oh man, right? The third match now, right? This match would make me famous. This match here is where all the top players said, they didn't say, oh, that guy's a great player. They said, yo, that guy's crazy. They were like, that dude is out of his mind. I played against China, and I'll never forget this dude's name. His name was Chen Junji. He's a Chinese national team player, and I'm playing against him, and Thomas is coaching me, right? Thomas Kynan. And at this time, he's playing for Germany. And I'm playing this match. First game, I get smoked. Boom, 11-1. Second game, I get smoked again, 11-3. right? I'm like, oh my god, man, this is horrible, right? I'm quiet. This is real horrible. And third game, smoked again, 11-4, right? And then Thomas called a timeout. He didn't call a timeout. We go for the next game, and
Yeah.
I'm talking to Thomas, and I taught Thomas a lot of things through the time that we met each other, like what it is to be gangster, what it is to bring that gangster emotion and go bro,
Yeah.
and just bring the craziness, right? All that craziness.
So it's your fault that it's like that.
Yeah, a lot of it came from me. So I told and then Thomas told me, he says, listen, and he's very funny, right? He goes, Wally, you are from the hood. You are from the hood. Come on, fight like hood. So I said, okay. So I go back to the table and I serve this long, fast service, and it's an ace, right? The Chinese team member, he misses the serve, and I go, yo, it's it, baby. Come on, take him down. Take him down. Yo, listen, the guy nearly shit the bed, man. Whoa. Yo, I won that game, 11-7.
Oh, no way.
Chinese national team player, right? And the scores is it's 4 out of 7 games.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Wow, I won a game. We go back again. I'm crazy. Every point. Yo, that's it, baby. That's it. Going nuts. Yo, the dude was more scared of me punching him in the face than anything else. Yo, he loses that game too. So now I'm up 2 games. Yo, 11-7, 11-6. Who is this crazy kid from USA that's against Chinese and is winning games, right? Then, listen, in the 6th game, I'm up 9-6. Now, this is China. This is China.
Yeah, China.
9-6, right? 9-6 up in the 6th game. And now the Chinese coach calls timeout. And at the time, it was that very famous guy. I really can't remember his name. I can't remember his name. But he calls timeout, right? And Thomas speaks Chinese because Thomas spent so many years in Chinese.
Yeah.
Every girlfriend, every wife he had was Chinese. Speaks
Chinese,
right? And the coach is yelling at Chen Junji, and the coach is yelling at him in Chinese. I don't know what he's saying, but Thomas tells me the coach is saying to him, I never seen this guy from anywhere. Who is this guy? He came out of nowhere. If you lose to this guy, you will never play in China ever again. You're finished, right? And so we get back to the table, and here's the mistake I made. And this is actually for all table tennis players, something that I think is a very, very important thing that you should always keep in your head. If it's working, keep doing it.
Keep doing it. Yeah.
Because we as table tennis players and on the other sports, we have the habit of changing things that are working, right? Because now we're winning and now we really want to win. And that's
right.
It doesn't work like that. If it's working, you keep doing it. And what I did was I totally thought that I had a chance to win, and I had no chance to win, right? And the reality of it is the guy is way better than me. I have 0 chance, but I was in his head, right? And the only tool that I had to beat this guy, I took away from myself because I went in there thinking, oh my God, all right, man, you know what? I have a chance to win this match. Let me calm down. I lost I lost that game 11-9. The guy came back, smoked me, and plus he didn't want to get kicked off the national team, so he had to step it up, and I lost that game. But from that point on is where every top player in the world knew who I was. Every player, I became friends with every top player. Then you ask them, Wally.
You could have been the guy that came before Michael Mays as like a destroyer of a top Chinese player's career.
Man, yeah. And then that was the start of me knowing all these great players and getting all these opportunities to play with them because I realized that I started late. I started this game at almost 18, 19 years old. And
right.
I didn't have what every player had. Every player had the foundation of being a kid, right? Playing against kids for years, training in a school, you know, making it their life. I didn't have that. I just jumped into it. But what I did have was I had that gangster mentality, and I had that swag, and that's what I brought to the sport and became famous for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're gonna become famous for something,
Yeah,
why
right.
not, right? That's a good. um, now, now we get to the fun part. So I mentioned in the first question I excluded North Korea. You went to North Korea in 2015, and I actually I remember distinctly taking a photo with you before you went. You came to the club, and I said I've got to take this photo with you in case I never see you again. Because I mean, 2015 was a wild time to be going
Yeah,
to North Korea,
yeah,
especially as an American.
yeah, yeah.
And you know, like we had fun with it before you went. Like I started calling you Rodman, which was
I
like,
remember.
but what went through your head? I mean, yes, obviously people wanted to go to North Korea, and it's like nobody has that opportunity. And
Right,
for a table tennis pro tour to pop up, like even for a little bit, I was thinking as well, and I was like, well, maybe I'll go. But
right.
you know, getting a visa to go to North Korea is a pain in the ass. So,
Yeah,
but you actually went through with it,
yeah,
and you came back, which
yeah,
is
yeah. Right.
that's
Luckily,
an
luckily.
achievement. So what was it? What drove you to decide to go to North Korea? I mean, it's a huge risk.
Um, at at the time, there was a lot of like political unrest between America and North Korea and stuff.
Understatement.
Yeah, understatement, right? I mean, it was crazy, and
Mm,
I I saw this pro tour, and I was like, you know what? I really want to go here because I want to make a difference. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
I can make the Taliban like me, right? I want to make a difference. I know if I go there, they're gonna like me. They don't have a choice. They will definitely like me. So I saw the tournament in the ITTF. I remember at the time Duru was in charge. I told Duru, I said, listen, Duru, I want to go to this tournament. Can you please sign me up? And I was like, is this safe? And he was like, maybe. I was like, it's fine. I don't care. Just make the accreditation, make everything. I will handle everything myself, right? And so I made contacts with the North Korean Athlete Commission because once they get my submission from
Yeah.
the USATT, then they contact me, and I went to Beijing, went to make the visa, and that's how I wound up in North Korea. I mean, I wanted to recreate what they did in 1971 with President Nixon, the ping pong diplomacy,
Yeah.
how America established the relations with China. So I really wanted to do my very own historical ping pong for peace
Mm.
moment. And North Korea at the time was the best place to do it. You know, this Black
Yeah,
American.
because yeah. I mean, North Korea at that time was basically the same as China was back in the early 70s anyway.
Right,
So
right,
it's
right.
like mirror opportunity.
Yeah, yeah. And so I went out there, you know, filmed everything I did every day. Uh, it was really intense. You know, I'll tell you a story, a quick story, which I've
Yeah,
never
you owe
told
me.
anyone actually because
Yeah, this is what
yeah.
I want. I want the
All right.
juice.
The reason why I never told these negative stories is because I'm doing a documentary about my trip, right? So in the documentary, I'm not gonna put any of the negativity stuff in it,
Right.
but there's some crazy. I mean, okay, so for example, when I wanted to get my visa, right? They said, yeah, you have to go to Beijing. Here's a contact person. When you get to Beijing, you call him. So I go to
This
Beijing.
this I remember.
Yeah. So I go to Beijing, right? You know, I call this dude. As soon as I call this dude, right, he's like, "Oh, Mr. Wally," and I'm like, "All right, that's weird." So anyway,
Uh-oh. Yeah.
he goes, "Can you please come to the North Korean embassy?" Right? And I said, "Okay, no problem." And at the time, I was riding that one-wheel unicycle, the
Yeah.
electric one.
Racking up
So
those miles.
yep. So I rode around. I rode around the Korean embassy, riding around, and I couldn't find a door. You know, every embassy in the world has a door a door that welcomes people, right? It's like,
Yeah.
this is the North Korean, it's U.S. Embassy, blah, blah, and a big glass door, which that means
That's the entrance. Yeah.
The North Korean embassy had 0 door. It was like a compound. And I was like, yo, this is nuts, man. So I'm like, all right, I don't know what to do. So I stopped riding. There was like this steel metal door where like workers were coming out of. And I don't know. So I called the guy, I said, hey, I'm here, but I can't find the entrance to get into the embassy, right? And then the guy goes, oh, Wally, don't worry. I will come out. So I'm thinking, okay, the guy, maybe there's some security. The guy has to come out and he has to get me and then bring me in, right? So I'm standing there waiting, and a soldier looks at me, and the soldier's like, no, you have to go across the street. What? So now I'm across the street from the embassy, right? And this guy comes out of that metal weird door, comes out of the door, sees me, comes to me, oh, Mr. Wally Green, how are you? Nice to meet you. I'm fine, nice to meet you. He goes, okay, give me your passport. What? What do you mean give you my passport? Are you crazy? I'm not going to give you my passport. I'm going to give you my passport. And he's like, oh, no. Don't worry. I will make the visa. I will
because it's not
I will take my passport. And then 1 hour, I come back out. I said, no, you're crazy. I can't give you my passport. Because I had lost my passport already 2 times. One
right. Yeah, you don't want to make a habit of that.
And for those Americans who don't know, if you lose your passport 2 times in 5 years, they will think you're selling it. And no matter where you are in the world, no matter if they have American embassy, you will not get that passport from that embassy. It has to come from America. So that's what happened to me already. So I'm like, I don't want to just do my passport. And the dude was like, no, don't worry, it's okay. So without him knowing, because I really want to go to North Korea. So without him knowing, I took my phone, took a picture of his face, and then gave him my passport. And so he goes back in. I ride around the compound. 1 hour later, I come back. He meets me across the street. Now, picture this scene. I mean, this is a crazy scene. You have an Asian dude and a black dude across the street from the North Korean embassy. I'm handing him cash, and he's handing me a passport. Now, if that's not sketchy, I don't know what the hell's sketchy. But yeah, man, I mean, there's so much craziness like that went on. That was so insane.
That's insane. One of the things that I wanted to ask you a little bit more about, you said that you wanted to go there for that kind of diplomacy moment, and you did get the opportunity when you played your match. So now's a good time for you to tell everyone like how the match went, what the atmosphere was like in the venue, because I know from I had one friend who went there a long time before that said, half the stadium's military, and it's a very strange environment to be in. So go through your match a little bit, and especially the ending, because that's the crunch part of it.
So I was lucky enough to get to play against a North Korean. I mean, because there were no Western countries there. I was the only Westerner there, and so I could have played a Vietnamese and a Chinese, right? But I got to play a North Korean, which was cool. I played the Chinese. I lost that match to a Chinese national team player. Then my next match was a North Korean player, and the stadium was filled. We're talking maybe 5,000 people, and all 5,000 people are what? North Korean. There are no other people in North Korea.
The home side advantage, right? Yeah.
So the stadium is full, all North Korean. And I played this North Korean guy, right? So I'm ready, right? I'm pumped up now. At the time, I had a problem with my hip. So I had some pain, but I was able to get some ibuprofen, and I was feeling good. And I was ready for this match, And I served the ball, boom, boom, big point. I go up 5-0 against this guy, right? And mind you, North Koreans are good. They're almost as good as Chinese. They're really good.
Yeah.
But I think this guy have this black guy in front of him with yellow hair and design
and spirals.
Right? I mean, this dude I can't even begin to think what he was thinking in his head. So anyway,
I mean, they probably don't even see that kind of thing on TV.
No, zero. For sure.
Even
I mean, he probably thought I was Dennis Rodman's brother or something,
May-
right?
Maybe.
So every point I made, there was this sound that was like this. Mm. Now
Right.
picture
Like
if 5,000 people go like this, like,
disapproval.
yeah. So every point I made, that was the sound that I got, right? And so at 5-0, I'm like, this is nuts. Then he made 1 point. He scored a point, 5-1. Then all of a sudden, it was like, right? And I was like, oh, shit. Then he scored another point, and it got louder. It was the craziest, most intense feeling I've ever seen in my life. Normally, in the Pro Tour, I'm the underdog. I'm always the underdog, right? So at this point, I should be the underdog. But it was almost as if he was the underdog. And all these people were clapping for him every time he made 1 point, right? And I was like, oh, this is nuts. I was like, this is crazy. Like, it was so loud. And so then I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to use this moment to engage the crowd, because this is how I'm going to do my diplomacy. Because I didn't have a plan on how I'm going to do a diplomacy. I didn't have a plan on how I'm going to connect with real North Koreans.
Right. Yeah.
There was no plan. So then finally, I heard this sound, right? I thought, okay, you know what? I can connect because all these people are watching this match right now, right? Everyone's watching this match. So it got so loud, and then I looked up to the crowd, and I gave the biggest smile ever and just put my hands up and started smiling, right? Now, you know me. Normally, that wouldn't be my reaction. My reaction was
right.
like, you know, like, scream, like, no. But you know, I gave this big smile, and everyone started smiling. Everyone started smiling, right? So I was like, oh, snap, this is nuts. All right, forget about trying to win this match. This is my connection here. I've got this crowd smiling. So every time we play a point, boom, 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 I would win a point or he win a point, I would just look up and smile. I just kept looking up and smile. And then everyone else would smile. So it was like this crazy chain reaction where everyone was smiling when I smiled. And that was my connection. So the match goes on. He makes a great point. You know, after we have a good rally, makes a great point, wins the match, right? So then he comes, you know, you have to shake each other's hands. So he comes to shake hands, right? And he puts his hand out, and you could tell he really doesn't want to shake my hand, right? Because for North Korean people, Westerners, especially Americans, are the devil, right? We're no, like,
I know how it is.
zero, right? So when he came to shake my hand, he was really reluctant to shake my hand. I just grabbed him by his arm, pulled him in, and gave him the biggest hug ever. And let me tell you, my camera's facing his face. And I'm sure you saw the video. His face at first was like, But then, right after that, he gave a smile, and the crowd was cheering. That smile is the reason I went all the way to North Korea, because that smile, you can't fake that smile. That wasn't fake, because he could be killed for smiling because some American hugged him, right? So that smile was a real emotion, and that was the reason why I wanted to go there. Even if it's just that one person, for the rest of his life, he will always remember the crazy black guy with yellow hair that came from America. Gave
From
him the
America.
biggest hug he ever had. And that's how you make a difference. That's how I started. And that was my ping pong diplomacy, man. It was amazing, amazing.
Yeah. You know, like every time I hear about it, I feel like maybe I should have gone with you and actually been able to see it for myself.
Okay.
I know. I was like, I kind of looked into it a little bit. It was like, okay, you can either get a visa from Jakarta or Beijing, and I was like, how am I going to get a visa from those places? and the weird thing about that tournament in North Korea was, you know, like people in North Korea don't have email, so as soon as you reach out to ask about information about the tournament, you get a reply from like the Secretary General of the whole country. I think like, I was like, what? You know, like when you first get it and you read the title, you're like, oh, you know, this is interesting. But
And check it out. And you know what? They actually asked me to come back. I got a mail from the Secretary General inviting me to come back to play in North Korea.
Would you
It
do
was
it?
2017 to come back and play.
That's already that's past a certain line of
And listen,
of danger.
and listen. I I I mean I really wanted to go back because of my film and I wanted to shoot things because when I went there I didn't go there to make a documentary.
Yeah.
I just shot everything that I could, but now shooting that, and then now after making a documentary, right now I knew how I could shoot whatever I shot, make it better. And so,
Right.
but Trump was talking about fire and fury,
Yeah.
and I was
Yeah.
like, sorry, I have to decline this because I have some prior engagement. Because the thing is, let's say Trump started going nuts and start something with them, I'll be stuck in North Korea. I'll never come back here.
Yeah.
So that was the reason why.
Yeah, and also even just coming back from North Korea, you know, like going through the good thing about going there is that when you get a visa, you don't actually get a stamp in your passport though, right? It's like a separate slip. Because I was starting to wonder, I was like, man, you know, how do you go through customs back into America? And they're like, okay, well, I mean, did you have to put it on the form when it was like, well, you don't have to answer this question if you did.
No. When I came back from North Korea, what they do is so here's the really tough and bad parts about North Korea being a Westerner there. Number one, you have no cell phone service. Only Chinese citizens are allowed cell phone service. Number two, you have no Wi-Fi, right? So right there, you're disconnected from the Western world. And number three, which is, because people always ask me, which is the most scariest thing about North Korea? Number three, when they check into the hotel, they take your passport. So you don't have a passport. So you don't get your passport back until you're on the other side of immigration, right? And then that visa that they put in, they take it out, right? So they take that visa out. So I get back to America, and you know they ask you what countries you've been to. So I put China and North Korea, and I get back. I hand the guy my slip. I'm already literally out the doors. The doors out. They're like, hey, come back. Hey, excuse me. And I come back, right? And at this time, you know, I got my diamond chain on, right? I got my hat on, looking all hip hop, and I come back, and the guy and the officer goes, this says here you were just in North Korea, and I was like, yeah. And he goes, what were you doing in North Korea? I said, I was playing table tennis for the U.S. team. He goes, that sounds far-fetched. Wait for me. I said, what do you mean it sounds far-fetched? I said, why? I can't play table tennis? I said, I play ping pong. What are you talking about? I said, just Google me. You can see. Just Google my name right now. You'll see it. And he Googled my name, and he saw that I played table tennis. And then he let me go. But at
That's
first,
funny.
They wanted to take me in.
Yeah. I mean, there's just a ton of stuff that even like little things that you probably didn't think about before you went there that made you nervous or.
Oh yeah.
What was it like for you outside of the venue? Because I know when you came back, you told me that most of the time, you know, you get taken to the venue and you get brought back to the hotel and you're kind of watched and guided to places that you're only allowed to go.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere by yourself. You can't leave the premises ever. So every day was me going from the hotel to the practice hall to the tournament hall to the practice hall to the hotel, right? And then, you know, I'm staying there 10 days and you know, I'm getting really antsy. So I tell my guide, I say, hey, listen, tomorrow I just lost my match. You know, I got beat by China. I got beat by North Korea. And she's like, oh yeah, he was good. Yeah, I'm like, yeah. I just wanted to, come on, man. So anyway, you know, I told her, I said, listen, can we go out tomorrow? Right? Because across the street from my hotel was a beautiful park, right? Big park. So I said, can we go out tomorrow? And she goes, Yes, we can. So I'm very happy. Oh my God, yeah! Tomorrow, finally, it won't be.
You've realized that you're
Yeah,
actually free this whole time.
yeah. I'm like, oh my God, we can go out. It won't be just hotel, practice hall, tournament hall, practice hall, hotel. We can actually go out. So I'm so happy. I'm so pumped up. Right? She comes and gets me in the morning. Right? Brings me down. I'm like the biggest smile on my face. Oh my God, finally I can go out. She brings me to the front of the hotel. And then she just stands there and asks me, "Oh, this is nice." And I'm like, "This is the front of the hotel." I'm like, "Can we go to the park across the street?" She goes, "Oh, no. Sorry. That's forbidden."
That's it. So that's as far
And
as
I
you
didn't even
got.
go to the park. So then I was like, all right, I got to get out of here. So then I really wanted to get out of there because, I mean, being there 6 days, no cell phone service, no
Yeah.
internet, not
Yeah,
knowing what's
that's got to
going
be
on.
crazy.
Like, it'll make you nuts, man. And then no one to talk to. Who do I
Mm.
talk to? I talk to my guide whenever she's around. And that's it. There's no one to actually talk to. It's not like I'm in the hotel and I'm like hanging out, at the
Yeah,
bar
like
having
on the other
drinks.
world tours. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
yeah. So I got out of there quick.
Ah, man. So yeah, I mean, so obviously, like, if the opportunity came up in the future, you'd want to go back there and try and
Yeah,
do something different.
I mean now I'm kind of content with the footage that I have now for the documentary that I want to do. So, but I would want to go back there and maybe to talk with them about
Mm.
doing something together.
Right.
Right. Like take it. Like if I had the chance to go back there, I would want to do it and talk with them and do it on a bigger scale.
Yeah, like a team or
Yeah,
something like that.
where and also where they're involved as well, and then hopefully some kind of really cool relationship can come out of it, and maybe everyone would just calm down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because had you met some players from North Korea before, right?
I've only seen them, but I've never spoken to them. I've
Because
never talked.
I remember there was one, maybe it was after, was the China Open was after, right?
Yeah,
Or was it before? So there was one of the guys there that you knew a little bit, or that had seen you at
I
the tournament.
remember.
Yeah,
From that tournament.
because I didn't check it out of that one. I went, I went to China Open.
Yeah. From
Um,
from that tournament.
yeah, and that tournament was funny for me because I remember when you arrived, you'd actually booked at the hotel where the venue was the year before, or like 2 years before. And so you were like an hour away from the venue, I think.
Yeah.
And then, and then, and then after we finished our matches, you got sick and you vanished. I remember I didn't hear from you for like,
Yeah.
I came back to the US and I was like, dude, what happened? I had no idea where you were at all.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Okay. So that's the North Korea stuff, which is just crazy. Like, yeah, I really felt quite a lot of regret, but at the same time, like, you really have to be crazy.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I can be spontaneous, but this is like, for me, it was a level up from spontaneous.
Yeah.
But like, it's one of those things where if it got to a point where there was a little bit less risk, then I think it would definitely be a cool thing to do. So talking about the future of table tennis, where are you at with table tennis now? I mean, like, you had your hip surgery, and
Yeah.
you're moving a hell of a lot better. I've seen you out there playing paddle tennis now.
Yeah.
So for you, where do you want to go with things next?
Right now, I'm a co-founder of Spin New York, the table tennis social club in New York City. We have a bunch across the country. So, doing a lot of things with that. But actually, I mean, now that my hip is fixed. Like I'm really interested in playing back on the pro tour again. You know, like I definitely want to go out and try it again, and see now, because a lot of those years I played, I've always had a problem with my hip. All my videos, you see, I'm limping like crazy. I'm always limping. I can't walk at the time, but now it's like, you know, I have this bionic hip.
You can move now. Yeah.
So, you know, I had actually, I had a big plan to start again in the winter, last winter. I had a sponsor who was going to pay all the pro tours for me. And that was my plan, you know, but I had 3 plans going on at that time. I had me getting back into playing the pro tour. That was 1. Me making my film, right? That was 2. And then me with my paddle tennis, my pro paddle tennis career. That was 3. And so I found a sponsor to sponsor all 3 of them. And what happened was being after my surgery ended, was I think April. So it was coming into the warmer days. I just wanted to just mostly be outdoors, because I spent 6 days a week in rehab.
Right, inside in rehab.
And so I went back to paddle tennis, and I just kept playing paddle tennis. And then I would still play table tennis, especially with my little paddle. And the little paddle made me better. So I would just keep playing. I would just keep playing, but I never got back to actually going back to doing the pro tour. But it's still not. It's still. I still want to do it. I'm still interested. In the winter.
Has this time now kind of contributed to that nostalgia a little bit?
Yeah, man. Like now I miss it. I mean,
because I'm on the same bus.
Yo, it's so bad now that I'm going to public parks where there are stone tables to play. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, even today, I went to the public park. Yesterday, I was at the public park playing ping pong, and that's how I met your friend.
He was here before.
And it's pretty fun too, you know, because when 2 people go to a park and play on a stone table who actually know what they're doing, yo, people start crowding around. People start, and then I'm always playing Sam with my little paddle, and I don't want to lose. So I'm like, that's it, baby, come on. And we're fighting for real. And people are crowding around, and they're like, oh my God, that's amazing.
This is intense.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I definitely want to get back to it, you know, at least 1 more year. I want to do it 1 more year full. Like that, yeah.
That in itself would be a cool thing to, like, documentary or video blog. And kind of go back and, you know, but like even go out there and meet all those people that you connected with before. There are probably some of them you haven't seen for quite a long time now.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's I mean, it's for me, it's really crazy that this kid from the hood, from the projects, you know, finds a way through ping pong, table tennis, travels all over the world, and is known by every great player in the world. I mean, that's like, it's crazy, right? Because I mean, even the Chinese national team, Zhang Jike, Ma Long, Wang Hao, even when they see me, I walk into the hall, they look at me, I get a smile from them, right? It's not me saying, yo, Ma Long, what's up? No, I walk in, they see me, they're like, huh, and they smile at me immediately.
Yeah, because I remember when we were in China and Wang Lichen was there. And you were like, oh, hold on. You were like, hold on. You're like, I just need to go and talk to Wang Lichen. And there's all these like people walking around him, like trying to ask him questions in media. And then you're just like marching up behind him. You're like, how's it going, man? He's just like, oh, what?
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
And you know, the thing is that all those top players, you know, they know that they are much better than me. You know, they started at 3 years old. They're the top 20 in the world, you know, the best players in the world. So I had to figure out how can I be equal as them, right? Because I don't have that level.
Yeah.
I don't have level as Timo Ball, right? I don't have the level. So I said, you know what? I have something that none of these players have. I'm the coolest mofo on the Pro Tour. So I'm gonna bring that fashion. I'm gonna bring that coolness. You guys got the skills. I got the coolness. And as a team,
It's a match. Yeah.
it's a match. Yeah. But I'll tell you,
Yeah.
I have a very funny story to tell you. Actually, a Wang Hao story. So I'm in China, right? In China Open, and this is the respect that even the Chinese national team has for me. I'm in China, right? And Wang Hao is coming, and I always wanted to get Wang Hao's shirt. And if you know about Chinese national team, getting a Chinese national team shirt is almost impossible.
Right.
I've had 4, right? Wang Hao's is the most funniest. So Wang Hao's walking. He's just finished winning the match, sweaty as hell, right? And I go to Wang and say, hey, Wang Hao, shirt, right? And he laughed, later. I said, no, now.
Yeah, now, because you'll never get it later.
You'll never get it, right? He literally took the shirt off his back and gave me this sweaty shirt. And I happily took it. I was like, yeah, I got Wang Hao's shirt.
Did you wash it?
Yeah,
That's
of course.
the...
And then I wind up giving it away to some kid. I mean, that's like most of the only shirt I still have left is the Timo Boll shirt. Like all my shirts, I would get them because a lot of the younger kids weren't able to travel outside of the country.
Right.
A lot of these guys who were my friends are their idols. So I was like, all right, I got the shirt. Oh, really? Oh, you like Timo Boll? Boom. I give the shirt away.
That's the big difference. And like for me, like I gave away a lot of the few shirts that I had. I gave them away as well through like maybe competitions or things like that. But like that's for me is like where we're a little bit more similar is that the problem with a lot of the younger table tennis players when they do get the chance to see like their idol players is that the first thing they do is they run up and they're like, "Shirt, can I have your shirt? Can I have your autograph?"
Yeah.
And like that was never something that interested me. Right. It's not something that interests you. Like you want to go out there and you want to be friends with them and you want to build rapport with them. And I think the difference in mentality about how you approach those top level players is how you kind of at least get on like an equal playing field with them.
Right.
And like for me, I was like, like starstruck, yes, but at the same time, you want to show some interest in the players and what they're doing and how they are instead of being like, oh, give me an autograph, give me a shirt. And I was like, I don't want to be a fanboy. I want to get to know them.
Exactly. I mean, all the time that I played on the Pro Tour, I never, ever was like, oh, my God, that's Timo Boll. I was like, yo, man, what's up? You good? Like,
yeah.
You good? Like me and you, we're equal. You're better than me.
Yeah.
But I can kick your ass and we're equal. All right?
Yeah, that's...
So you know what I'm saying? So yeah. I never had that, like, and any shirts that I ever got, I never kept them. I gave them, I bring, like, people would tell me, like, I would have some juniors, and they would say, hey, can you get me Timo Boll shirt? Or can you get me a Pearson or Prima, whoever's shirt? And I'd be like, all right, when I go, I'll go and I say, hey,
you get it for you.
I have this kid in New York, he wants a shirt, can I get it? And they'll give it to me, and I would bring it back and give it to them.
Yeah. Okay, we have a few minutes left. I was going to ask you one kind of other broader question. Table tennis in New York is a little bit more unique, where there are a lot of outdoor tables, and you had this acclaimed kind of documentary film called The Tables, which is about diverse groups of people coming together and playing table tennis. Do you feel like there's more that table tennis can offer in terms of maybe focusing on underprivileged youth, or even like, I mean, a time like now, even getting people together from different backgrounds, whether it's like police officers and like peaceful black protesters, and getting them together to kind of get into a more peaceful environment?
Yeah, I think like I said, when I first saw this sport, to me, I hated this sport. And then I really, really did not like this sport at all. And then through the years of me playing all over the world, I noticed one thing about this sport, that this sport has that a lot of other sports do not have. This sport brings people together. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the background. It doesn't matter what country you come from, or what color you are, or what nationality you are. It brings all these cultures of people. Like I have friends from every part of the world
Right.
that I would never, when I was in my hood gangbanging, I would never think that I would have these kind of friends from all over the world. So it's a very good tool in bringing people together. And then when you get all these different kinds of people together, then you start learning about different people's cultures, right? Then you start understanding, oh, this is why this happens there. This is why this is this. And then there's a lot of tolerance and understanding. And I mean, it's such an amazing sport to bring people together, man. And yeah. And I really love it. I really love it, especially.
You've done a full 180 completely.
Yeah.
Okay, we're kind of getting towards the end, but dude, as usual, it's always great to catch up with you, and I hadn't seen you for quite a long time.
Yeah,
I was really glad that we got to commentate last year in Washington, fun. And we've got to catch up more, and definitely there's got to be a cell phone match maybe. Yeah. I have to come out to New York and we'll see if we can do some stuff like that. But hopefully we can catch up soon, because I feel like we could talk for hours.
Yeah,
there's so much stuff we can. They don't know. We already talked for like 2 hours on the phone the other day before we even did this.
That was the first phone conversation I've had in forever.
Yeah, we'll see. If you stay in quarantine, just call me again. It's no problem. We can do it anytime. All right, man. We'll sign out, but it's really good to see you, and thanks for sharing the North Korea story in particular.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Look forward to.
We'll
you too, man. Yeah.
All right,
keep in touch, dude. See ya.
Peace.